Film legend Martin Scorsese is back to tell us yet another chilling mob crime drama, but everyone seems to be talking about this de-aged Robert De Niro. Why is that? Let's talk about that right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to another movie news video. My name is Joker and today we're talking about Martin Scorsese's new movie, The Irishman. Before I go any farther, real quick, I just want to point out that the SOAR RC has officially ended, so now we're just going to play the long waiting game to see what happens with the results. So that's why you're no longer going to see the SOAR intro in any of my videos, but other than that, everything else is going to be the same. I would like to thank all of you for the support I've been getting over the past few weeks for the SOAR recruitment challenge. It means the world to me. You honestly have no idea how happy I am to have all of you cheering me on throughout this entire process. It means so much to me, and just thank you guys so much. But now, let's talk about the Mafia. So if you're unfamiliar with Martin Scorsese, he is a film director that brings us absolutely compelling stories, mainly having to do with crime dramas. And when it comes to the mob stories that he loves to tell, he never disappoints. Some of the movies you may know that he's made are Goodfellas, The Departed, Casino, and Gangs of New York, all of which are mainly gang-related movies that typically fall between the Irish and Italian mafias. And every aspect of every movie he does is absolutely outstanding, from the story being told to the casting involved. Especially movies like The Departed that had Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, that list goes on and on. There were several casted in that movie, and it also won 4 Oscars, being Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and the big one, which is Best Picture. So you know that when it comes to Martin Scorsese, you're not getting disappointed with the movie that's coming out. And of course, no Scorsese movie would be complete without any of the actors that he always loves to use, being Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci, all of which have starring roles in The Irishman. So to fill you guys in a little bit, the focus of the movie takes place post-World War II and brings us into the life of the famous crime boss Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino. Alongside him, we focus on the Irishman Frank Sheeran, who is being played by Robert De Niro, who is a notorious hitman that catches the eye of Jimmy Hoffa and is being used throughout this movie. And one thing that's important to note about Scorsese movies is that when he makes mafia movies like this, when it's based on a specific family, these movies tend to last for decades. It's not necessarily like a movie that takes place over the span of a week. Like a lot of movies like Goodfellas is a movie that spans 3 decades in the mafia, and this movie is probably going to do the same thing. And I think what's most important about this movie is that we get a very different tone with this movie than we have with The Departed and Casino and Goodfellas and all of that stuff wrapped into one. This is a movie that's really based on the true aspects of what happened during this time period, and it is scary. This is a scary movie, okay? Not necessarily like it's going to be like a horror movie that has like creatures or something that scares you. It's the scary, and the story is just a really bone-chilling story. Frank Sheeran is not a good person. He is a bad man. He did a lot of horrible things, and he killed dozens to, if not hundreds of people during his time being alive. And the fact that he's in this movie and is telling the story between Jimmy Hoffa and the political argument going on with the Kennedys at the time, we're going to get into a lot of really deep, dark stuff in this movie, and you should not go into this movie with a light heart. So you really got to pay attention to that when watching this movie, that this movie is going to be heavily focusing on the rivalries and the connections to mainstream politics, mainly because at this point Jimmy Hoffa and Robert Kennedy, the brother of John F. Kennedy, were blood-feuded rivals. They did not love each other at all. They hated each other to the depths. There's no other hatred you could get out of people like these two. And as a matter of fact, it got to a point where it was so bad that at the time when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, Jimmy Hoffa stood up on a bar stool in a restaurant he was in and started cheering about how happy he was that he was finally gone. The hate between these families was immeasurable. It was just absolutely ridiculous. So I don't think we're going to get any of that nice guy looks that we get with Robert De Niro and even with Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. This is going to be a movie that's really based truly out of hate and how these families fought to survive during this time. Of course, there are very different things here because, you know, like with Robert Kennedy and the rest of the Kennedy family being a legit millionaire family, and with Jimmy Hoffa, who was a high school dropout, and now just creating his crime family as is. So these are 2 very different lifestyles clashing together during this time in America. So I think we're going to see real dark and grittiness in these movies, and I just don't think like anyone's going to care. When it comes to like Frank Sheeran on screen, we even see in the trailer when he pulls that guy out of the diner and just waxes him right there on the street. Like, there is no remorse in this character. He is there to do his job and nothing more. And while on the topic of Frank Sheeran, the biggest talking point for this film seems to be the de-aging factor that they're using for Robert De Niro. Because when you look at it, Robert De Niro is 75 years old right now, so him playing Frank Sheeran at that age probably wouldn't happen, but who else would be better to play the role than this? But I don't think the de-aging looks that bad for what it is. I mean, it shaves a good 15-20 years off of what he looks like, and I think that's what's going to help this movie. For the sake of the story and for the sake of the movie, I think it's okay to use a de-aging software or whatever the actual process is to make the character look younger to play the role that it needs to be played. And since it's going to span a couple decades, probably it'll be a lot easier to use this de-aging factor on him to help him look younger, so when he starts getting older, they can just go back to Robert De Niro's natural look. I do not think the de-aging is going to take away from the movie, and I definitely do not think that it's going to take away from his performance. If anything, I think it's just going to elevate the movie to another level and help show what film is capable of now that we have this technology. And especially with a budget of between $160 to $200 million, that is very conservative. That is a very small budget for a movie of this size, considering how long the movie is going to be as far as like the years shown within the film. And I'm imagining that most of that money probably goes towards the de-aging of some characters. And we've seen de-aging a lot in movies, and it hasn't been that terrible. You know, we've seen it a lot with Captain America Civil War when we had a younger Tony Stark, and we also saw it with Hank Pym in Avengers Endgame. Even though they were only on screen for a shorter amount of time, so it wasn't really that big of a deal, seeing this in a longer scale could cause issues, but I imagine most of the budget is going towards keeping it so he still looks young no matter what scene is being portrayed. But there is so much to focus on in this trailer that if you're worried about the de-aging, you need to look at the bigger picture around what the movie is going to be about and why they're having to use de-aging in this film to make it look the way it does. Overall, I think the movie is going to be an absolutely amazing story. Whether or not it's going to be Oscar worthy, we don't know. I guess I'll have to give you my opinion when the movie comes out, and if it's actually going to be seen on a larger scale like that, because this is a movie that is going to be set for release in both Netflix and select theaters this fall. So it's not getting a wide-scale release like every other movie does in theaters. It's going directly to Netflix and to a few theaters, so hopefully it gets somewhat of a revenue service from the box office, but again, who knows. But what do you think of The Irishman? Are you going to want to see this movie, or are you a fan of crime dramas in general? And what are your thoughts on the de-aging technology being used for Robert De Niro? Are you a fan of it? Do you wish they went with another method? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to talk about it. But until this movie comes out and I get to see what we're working with, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, if you like what you saw, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more movie news videos or if you'd like to see anything else. But until then, and as always, I will see you guys next time.